Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm fantastic.
Just made her mad right before we went on the air. Coming up later in the program, we got a guest. You should probably look and see who it is. Oh, it's Jordan Goodman. Going to talk about investments. We talk to him about once a month. Smart guy. So if you're looking for ways to stretch your dollars and make them work for you, be listening later as we visit with Jordan Goodman. Again, that's coming up here a little bit later in the program. Scientists have created a radio smaller than a grain of sand, Heidi. Itty-bitty, tiny little radio. So if you don't have room on your desk for a radio, maybe that's what you're looking for right there. The dollar sign. You know how it originated?
No.
From taking the abbreviation of the United States and placing one on top of the other. Later, the bottom of the U was dropped to form the present-day dollar sign.
Oh, that's cool.
So it used to have a U and an S all together, and then it was just the two lines, and they dropped the bottom of the U.
We
out
don't
of
usually
it, so.
do these fun facts right now. Why are we doing this?
No, I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing, and I didn't share it the other day, so I thought I'd share it now. But
Okay.
We'll share some more later. And we got a lot of fun things coming up today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today,
Man,
John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Wednesday, the 27th day of April. Today is two different things. One is called Administrative Professionals Day, and the other is called Secretary's Day. So depending on which one of those is you, I guess there you go. Also, we've got Babe Ruth Day going on today, so that's pretty darn cool. International Guide Dogs Day is today. Mentaza's Mule Day is today. Let's just skip over that because I don't know what that is. Morse Code Day is today. Do you know any Morse Code, Heidi?
No.
The only thing I know in Morse Code is SOS. That's it. And the last one on the list is National Little Pampered Dog Day. So we're going to have to celebrate with our dogs today. They're
They
pampered.
are little and
oh
they are
my goodness,
pampered.
are they ever. A couple of fun things going on this Wednesday. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A 15-year-old named Michael Carter received a new kidney from the most likely of sources. You see, his relatives and his friends were tested as potential kidney donors, but they were rejected. So one day, on the school playground, his teacher, R. Max Abbott, at the middle school in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, asked him to pull up his baggy jeans at recess. He explained to her, "I'm sorry, I have loose-fitting jeans. They're a lot more comfortable because I'm undergoing kidney dialysis. I'm waiting for a kidney transplant." It was then that Jane Smith said casually, "Well, I've got two of them. Do you want one?" And the rest is history. So she literally, at playground, told him, "You need to pull up your baggy pants," and then found out why he had baggy pants on. And then she said, "Well, hey, you know what? I'll give you a kidney." How
That's
cool
an
is that?
amazing story.
That is very cool, and she was a match, and as they say, the rest is history. So a 15-year-old kid got a new kidney from a teacher. Now, when I was 15, I didn't get to go out to recess at all. Did you? When you were a teenager?
Well,
I didn't. We were done
15
with
would
that.
have been in...
I was
I
in
would have been in high school.
high school.
No, there was no recess at 15.
I guess it doesn't say that they were at recess. It just says one day on the school playground.
Why would they even have a playground? We didn't have a playground at my high school.
Well, yeah. Some high schools maybe have playground. Maybe it was like in all school. There's some schools where like all the classes are in one area. So maybe
Yeah,
that's what
it
it was.
could be.
I don't know. All I know is it's a cool story. And again, 15-year-old Michael Carter got a new kidney from a teacher that told him to pull up his baggy pants.
That's cool.
It is cool. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. In Lodi, California, 54-year-old parolee Daniel Santos Ramirez is back behind bars after shopping at Walmart. While shopping at Walmart is not against the law, thank goodness, Ramirez did something that was. He left some items behind at the checkout stand after making his purchase. Those items were 9 baggies of methamphetamines
Whoa,
and
boy.
$420 in cash. Ramirez was also nice enough to leave behind his wallet with his ID to make it really easy for the officers to find him. His timing was unfortunate as Ramirez was due to get off parole in 3 days.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He would have been right back on either way, but 54-year-old in California walked away from the checkout counter, leaving $420 in cash and 9 baggies of methamphetamines on the counter at Walmart. What was he
That
doing?
makes me smile.
What was he doing? I don't understand that. Doesn't make any sense at
Buying
all.
some new baggies for his...
Apparently, I'm looking for
the rest
baggies
of
like
his-
these.
Yeah, I
right
need
here.
some this size.
Like this size. Not this size. Not this size. Kind of like this size. What do you think? Got something for me? Aisle
goodness.
6? Is that where I go? All right. That's going to do it. That is your brain on drugs, kids.
John and Heidi.
Trying to be a success is one thing, but trying to be a success but being a bonehead at the same time, that's a whole different thing. And that's where today's Moment of Duck comes in. It's an award-winning reporter from Washington Post who believed to have wanted to send his new book to the bestseller list, so he went out and purchased between 16,000 and 18,000 copies of his own book online from Barnes & Nobles.
Wow.
He was caught, though, when he tried to return every single one of them in a confusing series of transactions. So this guy, again, he was an award-winning reporter for the Washington Post. He wrote a book. It was out, and he's like, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to buy
What an idiot.
somewhere between 16,000 and 18,000 copies of my own book. And he did that, but then as he was trying to return them, he got caught. And again, what they refer to as a confusing series of transactions.
Wow.
Not exactly sure what that means. All
Well, he
I
had
know
to
is-
give an excuse for every reason he wanted to, so you probably had some very bizarre excuses.
Yeah, I don't need these because I bought 15,000 other copies. I don't know. Not a good idea. That's the thing. Just be honest. If you're honest, that's going to work out. He was doing something that was dishonest, and he got caught. Coming up, we've got your Scoop of the Day that is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your Scoop of the Day, and I'm thoroughly confused about this, Heidi. The first vegan butcher shop in America is opening in Minneapolis, started by siblings Aubrey and Cale Walsh. The herbivorous butcher will sell small batch, locally sourced, all-natural meat alternatives. So, why do they call it a butcher shop if they're not butchering anything? It's the first vegan butcher shop in America. The herbivorous butcher. That is just kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not a place I would go. My
didn't-
brother
What?
tried to feed me hummus chips.
Oh, that was the other day, yeah. We were
I was like,
hanging-
what is this? Did you lose a bet? Why do
What do
you
you have
have
hummus?
these things?
I didn't try it. I've never had hummus, and I think I'll keep it that way.
It was not good.
The look on your face made me decide, that's probably not for me. Hey, a 12-year-old Israeli girl has
You know
discovered...
what? I'm going to interrupt you. You know what they tasted like? The texture?
What's that?
You know those chips that we used to have on that diet that we were on? They're
Yeah.
very kind of
Grainy
gritty,
and-
grainy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like those.
Thank you, Heidi. Can I move on now?
So gross.
I only have a certain amount of time on here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, a 12-year-old girl from Israel has discovered an ancient Egyptian amulet dating back to more than 3,200 years to the days of pharaohs. According to Yahoo News, the girl and her family took part in the Temple Mount Sifting Project. It's an initiative to sort through all of the earth discarded from the area of biblical temples in Jerusalem. She found a pendant-shaped amulet bearing the name of the Egyptian ruler Thutmose III. I don't know if I'm saying any of that right. It was actually found 4 years ago, but its significance was just announced recently, like a month within the last month.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. 12-year-old girl found that
Fascinating.
digging through the sand. Never had that happen when I was playing on my sandbox. But, then again, it's It's in America, not in Egypt, so that probably makes a big
Right.
difference. So.
Probably.
Hey, McDonald's franchisee in St. Joseph, Missouri is building a 6,500 square foot McDonald's restaurant. It's going to be the first Golden Arches in the country to offer bottomless French fries for the customers. Now, we talked about this last week, but I want to make sure I set the record straight. According to NBC News, the restaurant is slated to open in July. In addition to serving
Where?
nonstop fries, this is in St. Joseph, Missouri. Hey, we know somebody that used to live in St. Joe.
do.
We've been there before. We'll have to go check it out. Anyway, in addition to the nonstop fries, they'll also have ordering kiosks in place of checkouts, plus comfy armchairs in earth tones and table service. Customers will be able to create their own personalized burger, chicken sandwich, and dessert through an on-screen ordering system rather than talking to a person. Do you think maybe this has something to do with the $15 an hour thing?
I don't know, but the bottomless fries and the armchairs are what what I would imagine heaven
This
would
is
be
the part
like.
I need to set straight, Heidi. The bottomless fries is a limited time, only during the grand opening. Yeah, so if you want that, you best get there early.
I'd better get there.
Hey, the police have arrested children for not breaking up a fight in an elementary school. According to NBC News, 5 children ages 8 to 13 were handcuffed at school after a video showed them failing to stop a neighborhood fight involving even younger children. The fight was videotaped by a child. After seeing the video, police showed up at the school and arrested them, charging them with criminal responsibility for another. So, did you know you could get arrested for just watching kids fight?
It's like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah. They're on the sidelines placing bets. That wiry kid. I'll put $5
You remember
on
that
him.
Seinfeld episode?
Yeah, it was the
they
last
just stood there and
episode.
watched. They got arrested.
Yeah, and that was the first episode I saw. It was the final episode of Seinfeld, and I did not watch the show at the time. Everybody else was watching it. I was like, whatever. I got other stuff to do. Before DVRs, guys. So anyway, very first episode I ever saw was the last episode. It made no sense to me. I mean, none. All right, a recent study shows that yelling at kids to punish them has the same negative effect as spanking them. So if you don't want to spank them, just yell at them a bit, according to a new study.
I have no problems with spanking.
Do you have problems with yelling, though?
No.
That's fine. Okay. Time for a strange law. In Massachusetts, it is unlawful to injure a football goalpost. So you don't want to smack a goalpost or you'll get in trouble in Massachusetts. That is a strange law. And this has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Right now, we've got Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man, joining us. Jordan, how are you today, sir?
Great to be with you again, John.
Always good to chat with you. And it seems like every time we talk, there's something big going on because in your world, there's always something that's attached to finances and investing and money. Every single thing that happens really does have an impact, doesn't it?
It does indeed. And I think the biggest thing that happened recently was, in effect, the breakup of OPEC, the oil cartel. They had their big meeting about a week or so ago in Doha, where basically they were trying to freeze production levels of oil, and they could not come to an agreement. So basically they left the meeting in disarray, I think is the right way to put it. Oil prices immediately fell. There's going to be continued overproduction, particularly from Iran, but also Russia, Venezuela, Nigeria, all these places. They're desperate, John. They are absolutely desperate because if they're getting $35 a barrel instead of $100 or more a barrel, their budgets are really, really hurting. So they put out more oil to make up for the less dollars they're getting in lower price. And that means tremendous pressure, further lower pressure on oil prices.
Now, how does that affect people? Because I know if you look at the pump and you go, wow, it's a little cheaper at the pump, that may be good on that particular transaction, but that's not necessarily good all over the place, is it?
Well, it's good for consumers and bad for producers. So consumers, yes, they're really enjoying near $2 a gallon. I mean, I was down in Texas. I paid $1.38 for I always thought it was illegal to be paying that little, but there it was. So, yes, consumers are certainly seeing a benefit from lower oil prices, but producers are really hurting. There's about 8 states in America, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Alaska, Wyoming, North Dakota. I won't go through them all, but there's some states that are really, really hurting. Not only the companies and the workers, but the states themselves. They're having huge revenue shortfalls because oil is so much lower. So it depends which side you're on as to whether you think oil prices are good or not.
So as you look at overall the market and investing, what does that change with OPEC have to do, and how does that affect the overall market as far as investing?
Big time, because what's been happening is when oil prices go up, the stock market has been going up. When oil prices go down, the stock market's been going down. It's pretty tracing it almost exactly. So with oil prices going down because of the breakup of OPEC, that is bad for stock prices. So that means, in general, the trend I'm seeing, John, is a deflationary trend, prices falling for things, okay? And that means you want to be really conservative in this kind of environment, really conservative. Hold on to your principal, earn a decent yield. Don't go for the home run. This is the time to hit single, I guess you may say in baseball terms here. And something I'm doing that I mentioned before to your listeners that would be helpful are what are called commercial mortgage bridge loans, because that's a way of getting like 6 or 7% yield over 1 year with no fees whatsoever. You get monthly checks, get your money back at the end of the year. There's a website related to that, commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. And in this environment, that's the kind of place I would put money, because if stock prices start falling sharply again, oil prices, other commodities going down, you want to hold on to your principal and be safe. And a commercial mortgage bridge loan is a good, solid way to do something like that.
And the crazy thing is, nobody can predict what the future is going to hold. So as you're looking at gas prices and oil prices coming down, if that's attached to the stock market, there may be some that say, well, if prices are down, maybe now's the time to buy, but you have no clue. I remember a couple years ago, there was this company Enron that everybody thought was a great investment, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And even companies like General Motors and Chrysler, where you'd think, these are companies that have been around forever. That is just really scary to me, and I'm glad that we can reach out to you and get some information from time to time to inform and educate people, because I just don't have a clue when it comes to this stuff.
Well, you're right. Enron was the big hot stock in the early 2000s. It turns out it was all a Ponzi scheme in the end, so people lost a lot of money, including the employees there, when that went down. And you're right, General Motors and Chrysler went into bankruptcy and had to be saved by the government because of huge overcosts that they had, particularly labor costs. So, yeah, nothing's permanent these days. I think the deflationary environment we're seeing means you want to hold on to your principal. And it's so extreme today, John. In Europe and Japan, they literally have negative interest rates, meaning you go to a Swiss bank and say, I'd like a CD. You give them $1, you get back 98 cents on the dollar.
Wow.
You not only don't earn anything, you know in advance you're going to lose 2 or 3% of your money. And people are willing to do it because it's safer to do something like that than to lose your principal if you put it like an Italian or Greek bank or something like that. So, and that's true in Japan. Japan, not only the short-term rates, but long-term rates. If you buy a 10-year Japanese treasury bond, that is a minus 1% interest rate. So you know for sure you're going to lose 1% a year for 10 years. Is that crazy? That is a sign of deflation.
Why would people buy those then? I don't understand that.
Security. They'd rather know they're going to lose 1% than lose a lot more and do something risky. This is a time when people are being very conservative. When you have deflation, it means that prices are falling for things. Prices of oil and corn and coal and copper and all kinds of things. So you want to hold on to your principal. The bridge loans I mentioned before are super secure because they're lending maximum 65% of the value of the property. So there's a big, what I call, equity cushion to protect you, and it's over a 1-year time frame. And they've had a very, very long-term track record. And not only you're in first position, but there's a fund behind you in second position, so you're absolutely assured you're going to get your full interest and principal as due. So to me, that kind of environment is, what you want to be. Again, if that helps any of your listeners, the website for that is commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. And I'm always glad to take emails from your listeners to @moneyanswers.com.
Very nice. And that's what I was going to say. If people that are listening that maybe would like to know more, we've been trying to reach out to Jordan about once a month, but you've got a website and information that's out all the time. If they want to know more, how do they get a hold of you, or where do they go to find out more of the information that you have?
So moneyanswers.com has loads of resources, videos, links. I do take emails from people. I just love to help people with their financial issues. I find a lot of people, John, don't really have good financial advisors, or maybe any financial advisors who are not just selling something. And I've been doing this for about 35 years at Money Magazine and NBC News. So I just love to help people, and I'm glad to hear from them at moneyanswers.com.
Again, Jordan Goodman right there. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, sir.
Very good. Thanks so much, John.
And Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. If you'd like to know more, I'm going to give you his website. It's moneyanswers.com.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Winston Churchill was made the first honorary citizen of the United States.
I love Winston
there's
Churchill.
some great
he
quotes
was
from him.
amazing.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first place in the Western world to give women the right to vote was where?
I don't know.
An island known as Man. Yeah. Women
yeah,
could first vote.
that was going to be my
at
guess.
Man. I thought that's what I was going to guess, too. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Tangerines are named after the Moroccan city of Tangiers. I did not know that.
Ah.
That's cool. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 1836, the U.S. government had so much extra money that it repaid all of its debts and still had money left over. That was in 1836. We don't have that problem anymore. And this is an interesting fun fact for you. Each person's ears are unique. So if you actually got like an ear print from somebody, you could pin them to a crime based on their ear print.
Ah.
And our final fun fact for you, sliced bread was patented in 1954, and it was the coolest thing since itself. What did they say before 1954? Oh, that's the coolest thing since sliced bread. What did they say back then?
The wheel?
That's so cool. I wish somebody would slice our bread. I'm not sure. Anyway, a couple of fun facts for you right there on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that will help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Do you want a good night's sleep, Heidi?
Always.
I think lately you've been sleeping pretty good. The other
know
day.
why?
Why's that?
Because I've been taking my anxiety pills before I go to sleep instead of the stuff that I was given for sleep.
Yeah.
The anxiety pills work better.
And here, before that, you were just trying to drink like 3 bottles of wine. Huh. So that works better.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
it's been great.
Well, insomnia is a serious health hazard that affects about 50% of Americans, especially women. You don't have to take drugs to get that much-needed good night's sleep, Heidi. Try these simple tricks instead, and you'll be in sweet dreamland shortly after your head hits the pillow. Before we get to these, I got to just say, I usually don't have a problem falling asleep. Usually when I go to bed,
Yeah, you are
I'm
out.
exhausted, and when I lay down, I'm like just out. Boom.
Yeah.
But they say, first of all, straighten up your bedroom. You'll reduce your stress and you'll sleep better just by keeping your bedroom
agree with
tidy.
that.
And it says also keep your bedroom cool.
I agree
Then
with
you'll
that.
snuggle up under a blanket if you feel chilly, but then you'll sleep better.
And I think that's a big part of why I've been sleeping better too, because
Windows
we've
have
had the
been
windows
open.
open. Yeah.
An hour before you hit the sack, eat a slice of whole grain bread with peanut butter and a glass of milk to give yourself a dose of the sleep-inducing amino acid tryptophan. They're saying peanut butter on whole grain bread with a glass of milk. Next, wear an eye mask to keep light from interrupting your brain's production of melatonin. That's a hormone that plays a key role in sleep. And finally, listen to soothing music, Heidi. Try to match the tempo of the normal human heart rate, about 60 to 80 beats per minute. Studies show that music makes you drowsy. Good to know. A couple of fun things to know right there if you want to fall asleep a little bit better. I do like that we've had the windows open lately.
Me too.
And I think our neighbors might have fixed their smoke detector.
Yeah. If
I haven't heard
not,
it chirp.
it hasn't been bothering me.
I love our neighbors. Their smoke detector was doing the same thing that our smoke detector was doing. We had the same electrician. I think that it was maybe something faulty. But our smoke detector would just chirp for no particular reason every
Yeah.
once in a while. And then for the longest time, we changed all the batteries, but it would still chirp like every 20 seconds. Mm-hmm. Or like I think it was like every 29 seconds. It, beep. So our neighbors was doing that, and it had done it for about 9 months. And I think they finally just
I think they did. I think they got
fixed it somehow. I don't know what happened. Anyway, we've had the windows open, and that's been really nice. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
How weird would it be if you could hear everybody else that talks around you, but you couldn't hear your own voice?
Oh, I wouldn't like that.
Doctors have discovered a very rare condition that affects only a few victims in the entire world. It's a bizarre ailment in which the person finds it impossible to hear their own voice. When they speak, somehow white noise is created in their brain. It drowns out the sound made by their vocal cords. So others can hear what they're saying, but they can't. I wonder if this makes them talk louder or talk quieter, or how it affects them. I wonder if this is something that has been since birth, or if this is something that just started happening. But it's a rare
I wonder
condition.
how they know if they're saying something out loud or if it's something they were just thinking, because I may have that disorder.
I've done it before.
Did I say that out loud?
I've done that too. Like when we're in the house all alone and our kids are downstairs making noise, and I'll say, "Hey, who's downstairs?" And then I don't hear anything. I'm like, did I say that out loud, or did I just think I was going to say that? Because it's like silent, and I'm surrounded by silence. I'm like, I think I said that.
I often say things where I'm surrounded by silence, and I never know if I just said it out loud and stunned everybody, or if I was just thinking it like I should have.
After hanging out with you for 16 years, you probably said it out loud and just stunned everybody, most likely. All right, coming up, we got a fun story to talk about. This is not a smart guy. It's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
Here's a fun story for you, Heidi. Paul Bouthen was trying to unclog his kitchen sink, so he poured a powerful drain cleaner down the drain. Not satisfied with just that, he followed that up by pouring some bleach down the drain.
Uh-oh.
Turns out, those two combos, not so good. The mixture of drain cleaner and their liquid bleach began fizzing and bubbling and quickly filled his home with deadly gas fumes. His whole family had to flee the house before the fumes did any damage. It took 3 fire crews, a chemical unit,
Oh my gosh.
and damage control 2 hours to maintain and deal with this deadly, highly explosive mix of chlorine and hydrogen gases.
But did it clear the drain?
So if you're faced with the same clog, you might want to just try a plunger first, maybe. But do not mix drain cleaner and liquid bleach.
Wow.
Bad combination. I didn't know that, and now I'm
I didn't
glad
know it
I
was
know.
explosive. No, I would have never
I wouldn't-
thought to put bleach down my drain to begin with.
Maybe he didn't like the smell of the drain cleaner. He's like, I really like bleach better. Let's try that. Coming up, we've got a story called Nightmare as a Reality. That is on the way. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know, sometimes I read these headlines, and I don't know how they even are connected to the story. The headline says, Nightmare is Reality.
Okay.
Let's see what the story says. A South African man was walking to work on a remote, narrow path that he uses each day when he was attacked by a python that tried to squeeze him to death. 57-year-old Lucas Sabata said the snake suddenly appeared from behind some shrubs and tangled itself around him. The python started constricting him. Sabata sank his teeth into the reptile and kicked and punched him until he released his grip. Pythons suffocate their prey before swallowing it whole and have been known to kill and eat antelope, but attacks on human have been very, very rarely reported. Maybe it's because
the
they've been
humans
eaten
are
by a
gone.
python.
Yeah.
Anyway, taking a bite out of the python snake could possibly have been the only thing that saved his life.
That's crazy.
So here's my question to you. If you were being, suffocated by a snake, would you bite it? What would you do?
I'd shoot it.
How would you shoot it if you're walking through the woods like this guy? He probably didn't have a gun or he would have shot it.
Well, he should have had a gun.
Okay.
That's why you get a concealed carry permit. So that when
Hypothetically.
things like that happen, you are prepared.
Pistol pack and Heidi over here. Her solution for everything. I can't get this bottle open. That's all right. I got a gun.
Shoot it.
Okay. She's not done that. But that would be a good answer. But I think biting a snake, apparently that was the right thing to do because it saved his life. I just don't know if I would have thought to do that. I don't know. Maybe I would have if he was strangling me.
I don't know.
I never would have thought to bite the snake.
This is why I don't live in regions where there are large snakes that could jump out from nowhere and strangle me.
And if that were the case, don't walk through the woods. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There you go. That's your nightmare's reality. Hey, we got some good news coming your way. That's on the way in a bit on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap this program up with some good news, and I'm super duper excited about this story here. Pediatric Dentistry of Northbrook, Illinois has found a way to help young patients relax and even enjoy getting their teeth cleaned. Because how many kids look forward to going to the dentist?
Not many. And
Hardly
I, for one, am terrified.
I know, but listen
of the
to what they're
dentist.
doing. Their secret is a 6-year-old golden retriever named JoJo. A trained comfort dog. JoJo calms the patients while they're sitting in the hot seat. She'll sit on their laps. She'll tenderly rest her face on their bodies, and the patients are distracted because they get to pet this puppy dog. So nothing unpleasant really even bothers them because they're infatuated with JoJo. They kind of forget about the fact that they're getting their teeth cleaned. So, it probably doesn't work if they're doing like major dentistry.
Yeah, I
but
don't
while
think that
they're
would
doing
work on
their
me.
teeth cleaning and those kind of things. I think that's a really cool idea.
It's a clever idea for kids.
Very cool.
It wouldn't work for me.
When I was a kid, we didn't have the TVs on the ceiling. Nowadays, have you noticed that? A lot of the places you go, like you'll be laying back and there's a TV for you to watch. Mm-hmm. They didn't have that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you were lucky if they had a dentist chair. It was usually in the back alley and some guy with pliers. So. Okay, it wasn't quite that bad. But I remember as a kid, we were going... This is a true story. I shouldn't even admit this on the radio. We were going to see the dentist, and I didn't want to go to see the dentist. And I thought it would be really funny to eat some Oreos ahead of time and have all that stuff in there. It didn't trick the dentist. They washed them out first. But I went in and I had like in all of my teeth.
So clever.
It looked like I had a bunch of cavities.
Yeah.
I was a Weisenheimer even as a kid.
A Weisenheimer.
Yes, I was a Weisenheimer as a kid. You've never heard of that?
That's something like 98-year-old people say.
So?
That is not something that
It
somebody
still
your
applies.
age should say.
Well, I said it anyway. All right, time to say goodbye,
Wait.
Heidi.
Before we go, I know that this doesn't translate to radio, but look at where I had my face when I was making. It's a perfect outline of my face on the window.
It is. She was pressing her face up against the window because her daughter was. She was doing that because her daughter was outside of this window with some friends of hers from school. So, embarrassing her, she stuck her face up against the window.
And there's a perfect outline of my face on the window. It's hilarious.
Hey, I got a handprint in the corner. I put a hand up against the window. I didn't do the face thing. Decided to steer.
I put
clear
my
of that.
face on the window and I blew, so my mouth was wide open. She was just like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, Mother of the Year. Heidi. Mother of the Year. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to a fun-filled, action-packed edition of the John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. And if you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com. Again, CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
I don't think this counts. This is our bonus break, but I just don't think this really counts. A new painting has been created. Now, I want to admit first, it's really cool, but it doesn't count as a Rembrandt. A new painting has been created using computer software to mimic the style of Rembrandt. The painting is titled The Next Rembrandt. Here's what it is. It's a result of a team of developers with technical support from Microsoft and backing from a Dutch bank, ING. They sought to create an original new work by Rembrandt. By using data from all of his existing paintings, developers created a facial recognition algorithm that identified the most common patterns used by Rembrandt. They studied 346 paintings from 1632 to 1642 to come up with the patterns and then created a painting using a special 3D printer. You can see the final remarkable painting online, and I've got a link to it. And it's cool, but it's not a Rembrandt. It's painted by a computer. You can't call it a Rembrandt. Otherwise, I could just start painting. This is what Picasso was going to do next. Here, it's the next Picasso. No, it's not, John. That's you. It's not even paint. That's pizza
It's
sauce.
not going to be worth anything.
I bet it is worth something because the first computer-related, it's technology is what makes this worth
it's
something.
not going to be worth anything. It's stupid.
I'll bet it is. I bet it's worth quite a bit. If you want to see a link, I'll throw it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I'm going to cruise over here because I had some things we didn't get to. How about this? Gregory Tarver was self-employed, kind of, sort of. Had his own printing business. Yeah, he liked to print counterfeit money. In fact, he just printed up $40,000 in counterfeit money. And they were sitting in his SUV. And he also had in possession the device to cut the sheets into individual bills. And he must have worked really hard because he fell asleep behind the wheel at a red light. And a police officer had to wake Sleeping Beauty and notice the bills and the equipment in the car.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't have to worry about spending those because he got arrested instead. Listen to this one. A passenger wanted a ride to jail, apparently. And that was fine with the cabbie. Deputies in Prescott, Arizona, or Prescott, I don't know how they say it there, say Jacob Bundy didn't have the $32 for his cab fare, and he chased the driver with a knife. Authorities say the driver convinced Bundy to put the knife away, just jump back in the car, we'll go to a bank. On the way, the cabbie said his deadbeat fare suggested they just go to jail instead. And they did. So he didn't want to pay him. He's like, how about you just drop me off at jail?
Wow.
Wow, that was nice. And this is such a bizarre story. In Canada, a 17-year-old high school student basketball star turned out to be a 30-year-old man.
Oh, my gosh.
This kid's really good for 17. I mean, he's amazing.
Was he like undercover for 21 Jump Street or something?
He's got gray hair already. I can't imagine this. I don't know, a 30-year-old man pretending to be a 17-year-old high school student. I'm glad it was in Canada. At least they get to have some idiots there. I mean, usually those people turn out to be some. Maybe he's from here. I don't know. Anyway, that's your bonus break brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you've got funds that are earning less than 6%, you need a better system. A commercial mortgage bridge loan could be just that. They earn 6 to 8%. All of the details can be found at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.